Yo, as always, thanks to BetUSTV for sponsoring this video. The full unedited video can be found at patreon.com/topbillin. In the event the content ID claim police grabbed this bad boy and I have to chop it up, patreon.com/topbillin, you'll be able to see the full version. All right, y'all, taking a look at your man, Grey Zabel. Great pick for the Seattle Seahawks. Take a man with some severe versatility and place him on a line where you believe you may have multiple holes, right? Whether it be on the exterior or in the interior. So think about that there. Grey Zabel can do it all. So I like that pick. You know what I want to see as far as the Seattle Seahawks run scheme? They're going to be grinding and mashing people in the potatoes. I'm telling you this right now, Clint Kubiak is not coming to fuck around. So having a guy like Grey Zabel who has a little bit of a nasty streak to him, but is a really good technician as well. I spent a long time, right? I'm getting on this joint right here, having to stay up late, get up early in the morning. So bear with your boy. Grey Zabel here, check this out right here. What do you want to see when someone's firing off the ball? This right here, bang. Now look at that, right? You see the reestablishment of the line of scrimmage, right? From the offensive perspective here. Firing this bad boy off, I want to see gentrification. I need people moved. I need them up out of here, right? So you get him up out of here, look at this, bang. Great pad leverage, right, to be able to scoop up and get up under a man. Then you start that leg drive. You can see where he started at, right? The edge defender here, right? Look at that line right here. Very casually start to place this man, move this man up out of the neighborhood, gentrifying right there. And you're seeing this on the exterior. So trying to get this and then translate it on the interior. This is the type of stuff that I want to see because this is what you're definitely going to want to have happen on the interior here. Look at the line spacing right here. This is a true spread offense there, but they run a ton of pro-style concept at North Dakota State University, as we've seen over the years. Even going back as far as my man Carson Wentz when he was there. So look at that. Once again, the pad leverage there. I was looking at his measurables, right? 32-inch arms. Probably don't want to do that in the pros, but if he had to in a pinch, I'm not so sure he couldn't do it, right? As far as playing on the exterior, but definitely on the interior, having him move people and gentrify the neighborhood right there, getting people up out of there, right? Great deal there. All right, here we see Zabel going against damn near a 9 technique. Watch this. Look at the patience and then look at the anchoring. Look at him sink those mud hooks in. Right, the patience, not showing them their hands, right? Some of these guys will get a little over anxious and they'll start to place their hands out, allowing for the edge player to then counter the hands. He's patient with the hands, but look at the feet. The feet continue to chop. Look at that. Look at the foot energy. You see that? The foot continues to chop. He's kind of decrease the space and cut an angle, and then boom, he shoots the hands right there. He's confident in his ability to detonate whatever is coming his way. And look at that, right? All in one motion. Anchor and then extend on them. Look at that. This will definitely come in handy on the inside if they're looking at. I don't know exactly where he'll be placed or anything. I'm not going to pretend like I know. I would think that with Charles Cross and Abe Lucas there, that he would move perhaps to that left guard spot. I think that would be a good spot for him at left guard there. Laken Tomlinson, right? I told you I didn't like no Laken Tomlinson in his days with the Jets. But I think this guy would be an upgrade right there. But look at this right here, right? Grab the man by shirt lapel, making sure he does not get in the club. Look at that. Mud hook sunk, and it's a wrap. Right? He was just stretching this man out like Mr. Fantastic right here. Look at this. My man's getting taller and taller and taller right there. But all you dudes who want to be a little bit taller, go to the house of Grey Zabel. Let him stretch you out, right? Pause and note Diddy. Look at that right there. Great ability to sink those mud hooks. Look at it one more time, full speed. Extend, patience, mud hook sunk. You see him with eyes on the target. Coming right here, understanding which shoulder to attack. Bang, look at that right there. My man ain't want none of it either. Look at that right here. Bang. A little bit more gentrification going on right there, right? And a little bit of prison loving going on too, right? Prison loving. Look at this collision. boom, right here, right? You got to be ready for it. You coming down from that third level right there. My man slipping out of the tackle, and my man right here, right, he'll be needing a CNI dog here pretty soon with that one. Damn, right? And a colostomy bag there, but you can see that made possible by what? This right here. Bang. Great collisions all the way through right there. Love watching that North Dakota State run game. You can see that tri-layer right here. Boom. Exterior. You got Grey Zabel right there. Climb up to the second level. Lead through. Then the back doing this thing as well. You should be seeing a lot of that in Seattle as it pertains to Kenny Walker, Kenneth McIntosh, all them boys right there. Jack Charbonnet, of course. I'll have a part 2 on this one. Probably showing some of the stuff that he may struggle with. One being speed on the exterior. If they are to make that right, I want to see where they say that he's going to play definitively, though, to really know what's going on. But on the exterior, he can struggle with a little bit of speed. On this one right here, you see this man taking the circuitous route. And Grey Zabel actually does a great job right here. Look at this, right? Got up on him. Was able to stay in front of his man. It's just like playing basketball, right? When I move, you move. Look at him. Initially, he went backwards, then had to redirect himself right there, and then look at the footwork, right? Almost had a crossover step right there, right? Because he thought, obviously, you're not going to see too many people do one of these drones right here, right? Coming through, going that way like that. But having that man do that and then being able to think on the fly right there shows you how much of a technician he is right there. And once again, confident in the ability to sink those mud hooks by being patient with his hands. Then look at it right there. Once he finally starts to anchor, this rep is pretty much over. Yeah. Good job right there. Maybe the guy, if he took approach like this and then tried to whip it back to the inside, but he almost took himself out of the play, and Grey Zabel was like, well, I will allow you to take yourself out of the play and continue to help you take yourself out of the play. Smart kid. Now, this run didn't do very well, but it wasn't because of his doing. He actually called this out. I want you to watch him right here. You see him when he gets down? He take a look. You saw what he told him, right? And watch what happens. He did his job, but somebody didn't block the overhang defender. So I would imagine when he does this right here, he's telling my man right there exactly who to block, right? We can see right here the overhang defender. If my man would have did what we was supposed to do, right? You see when they fire off right here. Now look, that would be the man right there I would expect the first tight end right here, right, to be in line with. And then, of course, if he had have done that, look at where my man would have been able to do with this particular rep right here. Because you got the other tight end climbing up to the third level on the defensive back, but then you get a 2-for-1 here. Right? You don't want to have no menage a trois blocking way out right there when you have a free hitter coming as well, right? An unmarked car right there. Nobody picked him up. And then look what happens right there. But it's not from Grey Zabel. Look at this particular rep, though. Bang, watch this, and then continue to move lateral, right? This is a good kind of stalemate drawing right here. You can see his foot energy continue to move lateral. If somebody would have blocked that right there, this is a good rep by the defender as well. To me, it kind of ends in a stalemate, but him continuing to slide laterally, I like to see that in those type of situations. Yo, been telling all my villains about BetUS TV to fill up that knowledge banks. I'm talking about picks, predictions, and analysis. You want to go to BetUS TV and see what those guys have going on as far as those media shows go. You know I love me some boxing. We have kind of been coming up against Chris Eubank Jr., one of those over the seas, over the pond type drawings going on right there. Two really good boxers, two really good guys. Will be in a heated matchup going head to head there. I saw they got plus 225 for Conor Ben to win by KO, TKO, or DQ. I don't know if he can do it, but that's definitely something that I would take right there. If you have something to play around with, Conor Ben to win by KO, TKO, or DQ. I expect Eubank Jr. to win that bad boy, but you never know. But if you want some understanding, go to BetUS TV for all your picks, predictions, and analysis, baby. Let's get it. Very instinctual, right? Having great instincts with a plan. That would be Grey Zabel. Check this one out right here. My man gets into his chest, and you saw what he did right there? He casually fought the arms, right? This is one of those quick stickers right here where my man was probably going a 2-gap, right? Probably was going 2-gap, then he decided to really get into his rush. But look at the leverage right here. What do? Watch this, right? Chop that elbow right here, and it was a wrap. Bang, right there, right? Sent shockwaves all through his shoulder, into his spine and everything, right? You can see him collapse, right? Look at, he started to collapse. Ooh, a little bit more prison level, right? Inviting a man to your genitalia, right? Very much prison style, right there. Look at this, right? Boom, getting on that bad boy. I said, oh, this is what we're doing right here. We're on a friction battle. Bang, right there. That's some strength right there. Boom, that right there made that man timber, right? Timber. That's hard. Remember, I talked about speed possibly being to his detriment as far as combat and that on the exterior. You can see here, it's inconsequential, but yeah, like if that were a deeper set by the quarterback, right? It's the quick game, right? Play action, or at least a play action look off there, but really quick game. And you can see right here, he starts the heavy-legged waist bend. Normally, obviously, he'll shuffle, get his butt down, and combat it that way. But hey, man, there's no perfect football player out there. Everyone loses a rep, right? Even the greats that you know, whatever, they have lost plenty of reps like that. But this, like I said before, it's inconsequential. But this was a little bit more of a lazy technique than I saw him right there. It looked like he would have had to end up holding if the quarterback did set. Then again, right, you know what your quarterback is supposed to do. Then you know how much time you have as well. So maybe pushing him to the outside if you know that he's going outside. It's just being smart about it, right? Work smarter, not harder. Here's definitely one that would translate on the inside. Menage block right here on the 3 technique, right? Really super wide, right? Think about it with these splits, man. You end up spreading out the defense super far, right? So he's at a 3 technique, but look how far he is out from the ball. You know what I'm saying? That's gangster right there. But if you can see right here, what I say, boom, start gentrifying, right? Wash that man away like rain. Damn, like a hurricane swept in the rain. Look, bang, right there. You know how many times we see a menage block and then you see the guy still holding the point of attack? I want to see when that second person gets in there, this person is gentrified the hell about the neighborhood. And you see that right there. When he got involved, right, the neighborhood, the demographics changed very quick in that neighborhood. Look at that. Bang. It was a wrap, right? Driving Miss Daisy all the way about the neighborhood there. You have to notice when he gets his hands on someone, he can pretty much control them. Look, right? If he wanted to, if the ball carrier would have took a better, well, nah, it was a lot of, look at this. A lot of breaching going on the inside right there. Forced the ball carrier out there, but he did his job, right? Got out on it, attacked it. Look at the leverage now. Look at the bend. Look at it getting that butt down, sinking them hips, right? Sinking those hips so you can extend and then being able to angle off. Look at that. Angling off right there. The hole was there, but everybody else not doing their job. So tons of breaches there. Always just watch your guy unless it's a menage block or something like that. And he's working in concert, or is he picking up stunts, which he does very well, right? He definitely can pick up stunts. I don't think you can run a stunt because his eyes are so aware. I'll probably get into that on the next video there. But wanted to hop into this one. And I'll show you guys what's cracking. Patreon.com/TopBillin for the full unedited video if this bad boy gets chopped. And then starting in May, we'll have the original content. So I may put part 2 on there, right? Just only on the Patreon. So, but let me know what you think about Grey Zabel and where you think he fits. If he's going to the left guard spot, will they put him at right guard? Will they move him out to the exterior? Do they see him as a long-term answer? Maybe at left tackle, I don't know. You have to let me know what you think about that. But as always, much love to everybody out there, to all my supporters, all my villains. You know your boy has mad love for you. And, of course, much love to BetUS TV. Make sure you're over there for your picks, predictions, and analysis. All right? Big salutes.
What more can I say?
Top Billin.